Hey guys, Coach Pete Meadows here. Welcome to SkillTraxTV.com. And in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to explain to you exactly why you need, as an athlete and as a parent, you need to be utilizing the SkillTraxTV system. I'll be back in just a second. Well, as a former Major League scouting supervisor, professional baseball scout, and a college coach who was in charge of recruiting at a couple different locations, I want to say to you that this is a very, very unique platform we have with SkillTraxTV to address really what I believe has been the biggest problem I've witnessed over the last 3 decades of implementing that experience with over the hundreds of different athletes that we've been able to move through to the college and the professional levels. And SkillTraxTV is going to provide a very unique opportunity for you to accelerate your exposure and your brand. And here's why this is important. Because in today's game, much unlike it was 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, there are some things that are very dynamic in nature, whereby you have these recruiting platforms all over the place, as well as you have travel teams and showcase events going on all the time. Let's take a moment and address each individually, and let's start with the online recruiting services. Now let me say this about those services. I think it's very important that you have one or more of these services if you can get them for free. I think if you can get them for zero or tied into some other type of feature, that you need to have them so they've got some value so that people can find you, because we believe you need to do all you can to get exposure. And that's kind of what we're here to do, and we're here to help accelerate. So with the online packages though, many people are spending $750, $1,500 to $2,000 to be able to access these platforms. And I can say, number one, that's entirely too expensive in my mind to be able to get the kind of exposure. And here's why. Well, they're going to put your portfolio or your profile on the web location, and it's a little bit deceiving in that the only people that will ever find you there are the coaches who may be perusing those sites. Not every coach sits around day and night poking through those sites, and so you're already probably going to be one of hundreds or thousands of kids inside some of these services. So you have a narrow opportunity in many instances to be able to have a coach track you or find you, particularly the coach at the school who has some of the parameters that you're looking for in both the coach's personality and the coach's style, as well as this academic situation that you're looking for. So a lot of times that's a little bit of a challenge, and I think the one that we see most often is that if we go to search for a player, many times we can't find the player through the 2 largest search engines in the world, Google and YouTube, because a lot of those platforms are self-contained. In other words, they're going to lock out your ability for those search engines to find you and expose you out on the web. And the reason they do that is because you wouldn't feel the need to pay them if they didn't keep you kind of what we call imprisoned inside their platform. So they don't release a lot of the content, and it's very hard to find the athlete. So the general overall exposure is minimized because of the narrow number of coaches possibly, as well as the fact that the SEO, the search engine optimization, disallows a good level of exposure that way. And that's what we thought the thing was for to begin with, right? Now, in many instances, we've found that a lot of our clients have come to us after they've purchased those packages and say they were great for the first month, but then after the first 30 days, they could never get a hold of the people that essentially took their $1,500 check. And we've seen that more than we'd like to. So this is where SkillTraxTV fills in a little bit of the void by helping to accelerate the brand beyond. Now, you can use any particular platform that you'd like, because again, we think it's important that you have a profile on these services, and we will market you through those profiles, but we do a lot of things differently, including exposing you in the search engines, unlike the bigger platforms. Now, a lot of folks, on the second point, a lot of folks think there's some kind of magic sauce with all these showcase events and all these showcase teams and so on. And I think they bring a lot of value. Don't let me discount this totally, because I think the more you can compete on the higher level, the better off you are. Now, the price point for some of these things have gotten a little bit outrageous, because the nature of the coaching is not necessarily the same as you would have had 20 years ago when these things started cropping up. It's almost like it's a glorified recreation program in some instances. Now, I will say there's probably 15 to 20% of the coaches out there that have good coaching experience. They understand the game, they have great connections, and they're all about the kids. We love those kind of guys, and we like to promote them too. But at the end of the day, about 80% of these programs are money gimmicks where you show up. I'll give you an example. They'll invite 2 or 3 top-tier players that they know that a lot of the coaches want to see. Then they'll send out invitations to hundreds of other kids, and you hundreds of other kids who might be 2- and 3-star athletes looking to climb the ladder are going to be promoted to, with the idea that you're going to be seen by these coaches. But these coaches really didn't come to see you, and if you don't have a really great weekend, then you've blown your opportunity and you've thrown money down the tubes. So that's happened a lot, and that goes on quite a bit. And so, not always, but quite more often than we'd like to. So the big ticket players are the ones that they're there to actually promote. At the end of the day, again, I still think being able to compete on the highest level as much as you can, it's got great value. And I also see value in having some online promotional profiles in some of these web services. It all depends on how much money you're willing to throw away and throw at the thing. We think through SkillTraxTV, we answer the end game problem. And the end game problem is both with the internet services and with the travel or the showcase event teams. Most often, our clients come to us with the idea that they've been given from either the director of the web service that's promoting them or the coaches as to why maybe they haven't been recruited. In many instances, it's basically the same response. Well, you didn't do enough to promote yourself. And there goes the red light, because all along it's been a challenge. So what we do is we fill in that gap. We're there to help brand and expose the player across a multitude of different mediums, including direct communication with coaches we believe would be most interested in the athlete. We've got strategies for that. We also consult through that. We also provide an incredible SEO branding to where you can be found in the search engines for your position, your graduating class inside the state that you're located, and in fact, most of the time be at the top, if not the most dominating presence in both the Google and YouTube search terms that might be used to find you. Okay, so that's part of the brand and exposure. And of course, we've got the television program that launches with a local opportunity as well as the national one that we're going to be building over time. So at the end of the day, you've got plenty of opportunity and can save a lot of dollars. And we're going to be doing for you what they're going to end up telling you that you needed to do in the first place. And that is do a better job of promoting yourself. Well, I don't know many parents out there, unless they're really great business people and still may not have a real sense of how to recruit, are going to be able to essentially promote themselves. But it's a good excuse to give parents and players, after the internet service didn't work, or maybe the showcase event didn't draw the attention that they'd hoped for. It's an easy way to kind of throw it off on that. Well, that's where, again, we come into play, and our whole purpose is to help you fill in the gaps and take away the excuses and actually help save you some money. Again, not saying that we're totally against the internet web services for recruiting, and we're not saying that we're against the showcase events. We're just saying that you need to have a better plan, and that better plan can include SkillTraxTV, which can streamline your savings and make everything a much more effective process for you. So I would encourage you to give us a call, and I will share with you how we can help you build a better brand and a better exposure en route to having a very unique opportunity to further your education for your athlete, as well as providing the sports benefit. So thanks for watching and taking the time for this little table talk conversation. I hope it fills in a little bit of what's going on. I don't want to go on and on, but I do want to share with you, we're very passionate about helping your athlete bypass a lot of the things that may come down the road, and we'll help you avoid those, okay? So God bless you. Look forward to chatting with you in a bit. Thanks for watching.